In one of the darkest moments of his life, retired police officer Nick Wilson found hope at this ranch in Murrieta, California, where he met his service dog, Striker.
I never knew what kind of healing could come from a dog.
Nick was suffering from debilitating PTSD after a decade spent investigating white supremacy groups when he was matched with a Labrador Retriever, trained here at the Patriotic Service Dog Foundation. Tom Tackett runs the nonprofit, which provides dogs to veterans and first responders suffering from PTSD free of charge.
Well, it's amazing what the dogs do. The veterans and first responders come to us that really have some serious issues. Quite a few of them are suicidal.
Cover.
Dogs here learn how to shield their owners from large crowds, even to interrupt when they notice signs of emotional distress. For combat veteran Michelle Rivera, who struggled with untreated PTSD for nearly 10 years, sometimes it's just a companionship that helps get her out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, it's the unconditional love. That's the absolute best part of it.
At least a third of dogs trained here are rescues. It can cost as much as $25,000 to train just one of them. That's where donors like Marshall Morris, a veteran himself, come in. He runs iHeartDogs.com, which has donated more than $300,000 to animal-related veterans charities through its Pets and Vets initiative.
We really just want to help them find their forever homes, whether it be, with me or you, or whether it be with veterans and supporting them.
And everyone agrees it's money being put to good use.
It brings me a sense of gratitude everywhere I go. When I see Striker, I always come back to think of this foundation and what they've been able to do for me.
Man's best friend and our nation's heroes getting the second chance they both deserve.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.